Finally, some good news. Watch the clip.
All right, we begin this hour with breaking news out of Capitol Hill, where just in the last couple of minutes, NBC News has learned the House Ethics Committee plans to release its report into now former Congressman Matt Gaetz. Joining us now, NBC's Ryan Nobles and Ali Vitale, both on Capitol Hill, and Brendan Buck, former press secretary to former House Speakers Boehner and Ryan. He is also an MSNBC political analyst. So let's start right, Ryan, with what we know about this committee plans to release this report.
Yeah, Jose, this is quite a bit of an about-face by the House Ethics Committee, which has wrestled with this question about whether or not it was appropriate for them to release this report into former Congressman Matt Gaetz, even though he was no longer a member of the body in which they have jurisdiction.
Okay, it wasn't exactly an about face, but I'll get to that in a second. Just some quick backstory here. The House Ethics Committee had been working on this report for years into Gaetz' alleged misconduct, including sex trafficking of underage girls. This became even more important after the DOJ, under Merrick Garland's failed leadership, dropped its investigation into Gaetz. Then, probably to preempt the release of the report, Gaetz resigned from Congress after Donald nominated him to be Attorney General, leaving the committee essentially in limbo. This committee is comprised of 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans. They usually work in secret. We usually have no insight into how this committee gets its job done. But about a month ago, I guess, we learned that they could not come to a conclusion about whether or not to release the report. And again, it's evenly divided between Democrats and Republicans. So if it's 5-5, that means the report was not released, which is what happened. So we now know that at least one Republican sided with the Democrats to uncover all of the horrific things we know Matt Gaetz has probably done. Now, will it matter? No, he's not in Congress anymore. He is no longer the nominee to be Attorney General. However, this is yet another albatross we can hang around Donald Trump's neck, because we know that he knew everything there is to know about Gaetz's horrible behavior. Before we get to the rest of the news, I would love to hear what you think about the House Ethics Committee's decision to release the Gaetz report. And again, it's going to happen within the next week. And while you're there, please like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. It's free. All right, moving on. Donald had a yet another, seems sort of redundant. He seems to have a meltdown every morning at 3 o'clock, going on and on about Canada becoming America's 51st state. So this is what he posted. Actually, I think most Canadians can't stand Donald, and they're deeply worried about their southern neighbor. Plus, if Canada did become the 51st state, it would be a very, very, very blue state on the order of California. So you might want to rethink that one, Donald. Almost immediately following that was another unhinged tweet about former House Republican Liz Cheney. I'm going to get deeper into that in another episode, but this was essentially what Donald had to say. Liz Cheney could be in a lot of trouble. Thank you, Loudermilk. What he's talking about there is quote unquote findings that Representative Barry Loudermilk came up with for the basis of criminal charges against Liz Cheney, who, according to Republicans, committed the crime of investigating Donald's crimes. So, I mean, look, I guess we could say that this is just proof of Donald's increasingly erratic mindset, but I think we've been saying that for 9 years now. Let's just call it like it is. He's the same horrible, unhinged person who's out to get his perceived enemies, and that's the world we're all living in. He also tweeted this, or Truth. I'm not really sure anymore. I think it was on True Social. Quote, "To all Senate Republicans, no deal with Democrats to fast track nominations at the end of this Congress. I won the biggest mandate in 129 years, unquote. Well, okay. First of all, it wasn't a mandate. It was one of the smallest margins of victory in modern American history. And I don't even know what he's getting at here. I don't know why Democrats want to fast track nominations unless he's talking about the judiciary, but it isn't really clear. What's clear is that Donald is just trying to intimidate people and prove the extent to which he has clout with Senate Republicans. Because as we've seen repeatedly, Republicans, like a lot of other people, keep obeying in advance, even though Donald actually has no power right now. He also gifted us with this. Herschel, meaning Herschel Walker, would do a great job in the Bahamas. He's a winner. Yes, that's right. Failed Senate candidate and former professional football player Herschel Walker has been nominated to be the U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas. Let's look at this and see just how disturbing this nomination is.
As one senior Republican strategist said, Walker has more baggage than Hartsfield-Jackson Airport between his lies, exaggerations, history of violent behavior, and blunders on the campaign trail. In college, he never finished his criminal justice degree. He later admitted life in football got in the way, and that so-called charity hired Walker as a paid spokesperson. There is no record of his employment in law enforcement or at the FBI, although his campaign says he did participate in a week's training at Quantico. No Clarice Starling there. He also has repeatedly claimed he's a great father while, quote, bemoaning fatherless households. But the Daily Beast first reported that Walker has an estranged 10-year-old son. And then the next day, the Daily Beast broke another story that he actually has another son and a daughter, both of which have not been publicly disclosed until now. On top of all of that, as Maddo blog points out, the Republican has pushed weird election conspiracy theories. He's repeatedly struggled to talk about important issues, and voters have also recently learned about allegations of domestic violence and other dangerous personal behavior from his past.
Go, Katie Fang. Also, I just want to make it really clear, as disqualifying as most of those things are, in the Republican Party, domestic violence allegations are a plus. At this point, I think we just have to concede that Donald is nominating the worst of the worst just to normalize his own badness, if you will. And then we have Donald's pocket billionaire, Elon Musk, running into a bit of trouble. Check out this clip.
Well, Donald Trump's appointment, if we can call it that, of Elon Musk to a government department that does not exist, which they are both now calling the Department of Government Efficiency, does not require Senate confirmation. If it did, Elon Musk would be asked questions about his publicly proclaimed drug use, which is one of the reasons the New York Times breaking news tonight is that Elon Musk has violated the security reporting rules for his and his company's top secret security clearance. If Elon Musk had to submit to a Senate confirmation hearing, he would be asked about an email reported by the New York Times tonight, written by Cody Miller, an Army veteran who worked on security clearances at Elon Musk's company, SpaceX.
The New York Times and MSNBC report that Musk's alleged drug use, I don't know if we can say alleged, like he's admitted it publicly, specifically ketamine, jeopardizes or should jeopardize his top security clearance. Lawrence has more.
Musk was filmed on Joe Rogan's podcast, Smoking Pot, which remains illegal at the federal level and is prohibited under security clearance rules. His business interest in China, where Tesla has a factory, were also a concern, the people familiar with the matter said. In August 2023, Mr. Musk wrote on X that he took ketamine, an anesthetic with psychedelic properties, when his brain chemistry sometimes goes super negative. He has said he has a prescription for the drug. Any drug use is supposed to be disclosed to the Defense Department, but SpaceX and Mr. Musk did not report it at the time, 3 people with knowledge of the company said.
Despite this, Donald's going to continue to support Musk because he needs access to Musk's fortune. And of course, Musk and other billionaires who keep throwing their money at Donald are going to get massive tax rates and deregulation, et cetera, et cetera. But listen, there's a reason we have these background checks. If you have skeletons in your closet, the FBI needs to know that. You cannot get a government position that high up if you are vulnerable to bribery or blackmail by hostile foreign powers. It's that simple. If you want the job, behave properly. Unfortunately, these people can't. So Donald and others in his inner circle are going to try to change the rules for their benefit and their benefit alone.